Welcome to another edition of NasCard Radio. This is episode number 61. I'm your pal Val, and with me is the man, the myth, the legend, King NASCAR. Logan, how are you?
Fine. Greetings, everybody.
And Jason has the night off. This is NASCAR Radio, where trading cards and racing meet. Got a great show today. Gonna recap the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity, Cup Series, winners and highest finishing rookies. We'll talk briefly about F1, IndyCar, what's going on over there. We're going to also talk about the 1991 IROC set. It's a little set that was released back, I think it was from Dodge dealer, so we're going to talk about that. And then also we're going to talk about some eBay auctions going on and also some closed auctions around racing trading cards. So, and if those of you that are new, again, this is NASCAR Radio. We have some shows in the archive. If you're looking for information about the 1972 STP set, you can check out episode number 29 for that, or the 1982 Kidco set, like Matchbox cars, but they had some trading cards in it. That was episode number 50. The 1983 Uno, episode number 31. Won't bore everybody with everything, but some of the highlights: the 1988 Max, show number 38 and 39. 1989 Max, show number 48. So, again, you can check the archives. We have all the older episodes where we talk about some of the older sets. Like today, we're going to talk about the 1991 IROC set. So, but let's jump right into the Camping World Truck Series. That was race number 17. That was the second annual In It to Win It 200, and that was Sunday, September 5th. Man, I can't believe it's already September.
I'm loving it, man. I can't wait for the fall. My favorite time of the year.
Yeah, and that was at Darlington, South Carolina. Darlington Raceway, Darlington, South Carolina. That's a 1.366 mile paved track. That was 147 laps for 200.802 miles, but who's counting? Sheldon Creed was the winner. Highest finishing rookie was Chandler Smith. I missed that one, but Sheldon Creed, that's his second win in the row in both of the playoffs, so he's starting with a bang there.
Yeah, he really is. He's pretty much telling John Hunter Nemechek that if you want this title, you're going to have to go through me to get it.
Yeah, I thought for sure John Hunter Nemechek was the man to beat, but Sheldon Creed did win the championship last year, but I think it's not a one-man race. I think it's going to be either Sheldon Creed or now John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, Sheldon Creed's pretty stout right now. He handled Darlington like a pro. I was proud of him.
Yeah, his rookie cards, even though he won the Truck Series championship last year, his first cars are actually in this year in the 2021 Panini Chronicles. And man, is he in Chronicles.
Yeah, I think he's in every little subset for sure.
I won't bore everybody with all the details, but there's a Chronicles set. That's card number 17, and there's like the blue, red, purple, gold, and black number to 1. And then there's the Chronicles autographs. He's in the Absolute. He's in the Chronicles Black, Chronicles Optic, Crusade, Gold Standard, Limited, Obsidian, Phoenix, Pinnacle, Select, and Spectra. I think that is all of them.
That's close, man. He's in a lot. If you're a Sheldon Creed guy, 2021 Chronicles is your set for sure.
It's going to take you a little bit of while to go after all those, and then there's autographs in not every brand inside the Chronicles, but I would say 80% of them is in the Chronicles, has autographs, Absolute autographs, Black autographs, Contenders Optic autographs, Crusade autographs, Gold Standard autographs, Limited autographs, nothing in Obsidian, Phoenix autographs, Pinnacle autographs, Select autographs, and Spectre does not have any autographs. So,
jeez.
Yeah, so if you're a Sheldon Creed fan, you're going to be busy. But, hey, if he wins again this year, that'd be back-to-back. So, and then this, like I said, so these are all rookie cards for him.
In Spectra, also got that variation we talked about with the nickname the Showstopper, which I wish I knew where that came from, but apparently somebody calls him that.
There's a name variation, and then there's different parallels of the name variation as well. So,
Yeah,
I'm
you could
sure.
make a
I was gonna say I'm thinking John Hunter Nemechek does not want to call him the showstopper.
no, but he kind of has been the showstopper here in the playoffs so far. He's undefeated, and I think he's won the last three playoff races because he won the championship race. So he's won the last three, at least the last three championship playoff races.
And then moving over to the highest finishing rookie, who's also in the playoff race. He's fighting he's right now outside looking in, but he's fighting to stay in those playoffs is Chandler Smith. And again, his rookie is this year in 2021. So he has 2021 Donruss signatures. That was all he had until Chronicles came out. And so like Sheldon Creed, he's in a lot of the different series in Chronicles. He's in the score autographs, select autographs, Spectra, to name a few. So
Yeah, and I've got him moving on in the playoffs. He better get his butt in gear. He's 12 points out.
I saw that. So, and you kind of led right into that. So out of the 10, Zane Smith and Chandler Smith are outside looking in. Austin Hill is holding that last spot. The next race is going to be race 18. That's at Bristol Motor Speedway. That is not this weekend, but next week. That's Thursday, September 16th at 9 p.m. Night race at Bristol. Stages are going to be 55, 110, 200 laps for 106.6 miles. There's no practice or qualifying.
Yeah, I don't think Kyle Busch is in this. So, in fact, I don't think Kyle Busch is in any of the playoff races. I think he's already done all the races he's going to do this year.
Yeah, I think NASCAR limits those crossover drivers to non-playoff races, I believe.
Which is smart.
Yeah,
you don't want those guys mucking up the playoffs.
Moving over to Xfinity. That was race number 24. That was the 39th annual Sports Clips Haircuts VFW Help a Hero 200. That was Saturday, September 4th at Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. Noah Gragson won that race, and the highest finishing rookie was Jade Buford. Now, that was one of them that I caught, and that looked like Denny Hamlin had that wrapped up. And I know we talk a lot about the drivers, but the crew, somebody was over the wall too early. I don't know, Logan, if you remember that, one of the tire carriers or whatever. And so Denny Hamlin was penalized and had to go to the back of the lead lap. So
yeah, that was a raw deal. I think he pretty much had that race sewn up, but that's what happens, man. When you make a mistake, in NASCAR, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, and because it was they're not in the playoffs yet, so that's why Denny was able to drive in that one. But I'm sure Noah was very excited because that locked him in to the playoffs. So, and playoffs start at race number 27, and so that was 25. So there's two more races to go to the playoffs in Xfinity, even though the truck and cup are already in the playoffs. So
yeah, that's just because the trucks have fewer races. That's why, and the cup is longer because they whittle it down from 16 to 12 to 8 to 4 to the championship race.
Noah Gragson, his rookie cards or first cards, maybe that's what we need to start calling it. His first cards are in 2017 Donruss. He's just in the signature series. He has a non-numbered autograph as well as a gold version number 25 and the hollow black number 1. But he has base cards though in 2017 Panini Absolute. That's card number 88. And there are a few parallels to that, like the silver numbered to 299, blue 199, red 99, gold 25, and the 4 different printing plates. I black, cayenne, magenta, and yellow, all 1 of 1. That's it for Absolute. So not terrible amount to collect for that. In Panini Select 2017, he just has.
I thought he was in Select.
He is in Select, but he's only signatures.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's an unnumbered version of the signature as well as the blue, number to 50, red, number to 25, gold to 10, and checkered flag prisms to 1. That is one thing that I really hope they bring back this year for Prism, those checkered flag. I saw that. I don't know. I'm deviating a little bit here, but I did see that on, I don't know if it was football or something, and there's checkered flag, and it is like a major injustice to have a checkered flag pattern and it not be in NASCAR, you know?
Oh, I know. I mean, when we were at the National, you're looking at tables, my eyes, because I do so much NASCAR, or just focus right in on a checkered flag, and I'd see those things, and they're dang football cards. It's like, really? Come on.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, but also for Noah Gragson to finish him up, 2017 Panini Torque. Trackside signatures, again, only signatures with the unnumbered version of the signatures, as well as blue, number to 75, red, 49, green, 25, and checkerboard, again, numbered to 10. Yeah, so if anybody's Panini's listening, bring back the checkerboard.
Yes, checkerboard needs to be in any of the sets as a border. I mean, it's the only logical thing. I mean, they could even do a stage checker flag if they wanted to do the green and white and make that like out of 5 or 10 or whatever, and that would be kind of cool.
Well, it makes me think of the 2016 Prism. That pattern, was all checkerboard, the red, green, blue. But I was thinking of the blue and yellow flag as well would be good checkerboard. So, but that is Noah Gragson and Jade Buford. He doesn't have any cards, no trading cards yet for him.
Yep, he finished 21st.
Yes, thank you. Again, next race, number 25. That's at Richmond Raceway. Gold Bowling 250. That is this weekend, Saturday, September 11th at 2:30 p.m. Stages are 75, 75, 100 laps for 187.5 miles. So we have Richmond, and then Bristol, and then playoff start for Xfinity. Moving over to the Cup Series. That was race number 27. That was the 72nd Annual Cookout Southern 500. That was Sunday, September 5th at Darlington Raceway. Denny Hamlin won that race. I think he learned quite a bit from Saturday's race in the Xfinity, then helped him quite a bit in the Sunday race.
Yeah, they had that repaved section that there was not a really good transition between the old pavement and the new pavement, and it was upsetting the cars. And I think they learned how to deal with that pretty quick, because if you watched on TV, you could see on the camera shots, those cars, when they would come off that new pavement onto the old pavement, they would bounce up just a little bit. And I can imagine in a car, that's kind of unsettling.
Considering, that was the first time it's been paved and not really qualifying and trying to learn how to deal with that. So Kyle Larson, he put on a good show. He tried to drive through him those last few corners or whatever, trying to get that win. So he tore that car up, but you had to love he had a solid second, but he did everything he could to try to win that thing. That's one thing about Larson. Made me think of when he was racing the truck in Eldora. He was doing everything he could to try to win that race, and actually ended up not hurt himself physically, but hurting his standings in that race, and he won less money than if he just would have kept on running and just got second. So I guess where I'm going with this is Kyle Larson, even though he's got all those wins and everything else, he wanted to win that race.
Yeah, he tried to video game it on in there, man. He just I don't even think he used the brakes. I think he just used the wall to make the turn. And when I was watching that race, and I know you saw the same thing, Val, I thought something had happened to Denny Hamlin. And it wasn't that at all. It was Kyle Larson just sending it into the wall at full speed and literally almost getting to the bumper of Denny Hamlin. And almost, I think a little bit more, he might have been able to get him. But it was really funny to watch on TV.
I heard Denny talking about that or I heard Kyle Larson talking about it where he was hoping that Denny would come down and that he would have the outside lane and be able to ride that wall all the way around. I guess kind of do like a Days of Thunder there. And Denny Hamlin did not leave that open, so that's why he had like run into the back of him. But I think we all thought that, and the announcer thought that Denny had a problem just because Kyle Larson had just run him down, and
I mean, it was quick. I
yeah,
mean, he went from being several car lengths back to literally being on his bumper, and it was just the weirdest thing to see.
yeah. But Larson, like I said, he that guy, he wants to win no matter what. So love the enthusiasm.
Yeah, I was proud for Denny. I mean, he's FedEx is here in Memphis, so I like Denny. I like him anyway, but I like him just as much because of his affiliation with FedEx. So I was glad to see him finally get a win. I mean, he's had his overall average finishes, I think, or even his average finish, I think, is higher than Kyle Larson's were this year. But Kyle Larson, had so many wins and racked up all those bonus points. That was how he was able to get ahead of Denny Hamlin in the regular season points.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin, like to your point, is very consistent. So now you throw in the first playoff win, and what a time to win. So this automatically moves him to the next round. So Mr. Consistent here has a pass into the next round. So what a time to get that first win.
Yeah, I had Truex winning that race, and I think he might have had a chance if he hadn't got a speeding penalty there right towards the end, and had to go back to the back of the longest line. But he came back. I think he ended up finishing fourth or something.
Yes.
Yeah, he did finish fourth. I'm looking at the thing right now. But I think he had a good chance to win. He just screwed himself by speeding.
And Larson, he coming in second, he again added more points to his total. So he's definitely in a good shot. And our highest finishing rookie was Chase Briscoe at position number 21.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the rookie of the year. He's had a pretty good year. I mean, he almost won a race. He spun out Denny Hamlin.
Well, it's between Anthony Alfredo and Chase Briscoe, and I think we've talked about Chase Briscoe quite a bit here in the last 10 weeks, I guess it's been. So I think Chase is to your point, going to be rookie of the year. So Denny Hamlin, we haven't talked about his cards in a while, but 2005 is his first cards. He has the signings. PressFast did signings that year, as well as many other years. But so there's a no numbered autograph version of that. There's also a platinum version, number to 100, and a gold version, number to 50. There's also PressFast Top Prospects memorabilia with shoe memorabilia, number to 200, sheet metal, number to 200, and tire, number to 200. But for base cards, he is in the PressFast Optimum, that's card number 34. And there's just a few parallels to that. There's the Beckett sample, there's the gold version, number to 100, and the eBay previews, serial number to 5. He's in stealth, but it's the No Boundaries insert set. That's NB number 24. And then in trackside, it's card number 37, another base card with Beckett samples, gold, number to 100, eBay previews to 5, Hot Pass. That's an insert in trackside, and then I guess it's a Hot Pass National Hot Pass. So, and then American Thunder, card number 89. And there's Beckett samples for that, eBay preview to 1, and license to drive in that. So that's 2005 Denny Hamlin's first trading cards.
Yep, no shiny cards for him. He's old school.
He's old school. And then Chase Briscoe, we've talked to him quite a bit. 2018 certified is kind of where his base cards at, as well as numerous parallels, all numbered from 249 and less. And then there's fresh face signatures, and those are numbered 99 or less signatures. And then he's in prime, a lot of relics in there. And then Panini Prism scripted signatures, just signatures in Prism, 2018 Prism. So when you're looking for those Haley Deegans. And then also 2018 Victory Lane signatures in there as well when you're looking for those Hailie Deegan. So
Yeah, he's got a lot of cards.
yeah, when you see that list of 2018 certified, that's a lot of cards parallel. So next race, next race number 28 at Richmond Raceway, the Federated Auto Parts Salute to American Heroes 400, 7:30 p.m. Saturday, September 11th. Stages are 80, 235, 400 laps for 400 miles.
Did you know that, or do you remember when Richmond was a half-mile track back from when it started in '53 up to 1988?
I do not.
Yeah, they changed it in the middle of the season in 1988 to 3/4 mile. And after, I mean, like literally after the race in 1988, the first race, they had Richard Petty out there with a bulldozer, and he was literally tearing up the track to get it ready to go to 3/4 mile. So that was pretty cool.
We talked a little bit about the standings. So Denny Hamlin is locked into the round of 12. We're going to go from 16 down to 12. So basically, Michael McDowell, William Byron, Kyle Busch, and Tyler Reddick are on the outside looking in. Alex Bowman has the whole 12 spot right now. Yeah, Kyle Busch had some issues. So he had to leave early in the race. William Byron had issues as well, had to leave. Michael McDowell had that pretty bad crash.
Yeah, Kyle Busch, he kind of came down on Austin Dillon. It really wasn't. I don't think it was really Austin Dillon's fault.
And it was in that transition area where you were saying with the new pavement.
Yeah, and of course when his left rear hit the right front of Austin Dillon's car, I mean, it was game over for Kyle Busch right at that point. He hit the wall, and his car was, he was done at that point. Of course, he was pretty PO'd, needless to say. His post-race interview, he dropped a lot of S words on live TV, and when he was coming into the pits, he tried to run over. Well, he didn't try. He was just mad, and people just needed to get out of the damn way. He almost hit some people going into the pits, and so I think NASCAR fined him today. What, $50,000?
$50,000, yes,
for being crazy, because somebody could have got hurt. That was really not cool, because he came guns a-blazing in there, man. He was mad, and he just wasn't going to have anything of it. So he was just full bore into the pits, and I'm just glad nobody got hit.
Well, what I found interesting was the announcers were talking to him, or when he came out or whatever it was, and they were trying to give him, I don't know, an Austin Dillon excuse or something like that. And he wanted no part of it. It was not Austin Dillon's fault. He was talking about the garage and the crew and the shop or whatever it was, but it wasn't Austin Dillon's fault. So
yeah, he's putting everybody under the bus.
I guess they did not have the right configuration for that. So anyway, he's going to need to step it up. He's going to need some good finishes here or win to bump him up, having started the round of the playoffs already in a bad spot. So, but Kyle Larson builds on his lead, and Martin Truex builds on his lead as well.
Well, I don't think you really need to worry about Kyle Busch unless something just absolutely crazy happens at Richmond, because out of all the active drivers right now, he has the most wins with 6, and he also has the all-time highest finishing average of 5. In case you did not know that,
so he's in good shape. He just needs to.
Richmond's a good track for him, so if he does well there, he'll be fine.
We will see next week how it shakes out. So we talked about the next race is Richmond, like I said. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say a couple other things about Richmond. The back in 2001, the Indy Racing League had their very first short track race at Richmond. So that was I remember that. That was a pretty cool race. And also the International Race of Champions raced there in 2004 and 2005. So just a couple little more tidbits about Richmond.
Well, that's a perfect segue for IndyCar.
Yep.
The next race, they did not race this last weekend. Next race is September 12th, and there's 3 racers left. The Grand Prix of Portland is at 3 p.m. on September 12th. So And like we talked about the standings, Pato Award, Alex Palou, and Joseph Newgarden are the top 3 right now in points. Moving over to F1, that was the 2021 Heineken Dutch Grand Prix, Sunday, September 5th, and that was at Circuit Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Max Verstappen won that race, which is kind of interesting now. And I guess it's a 2-man show between Max and Lewis.
Yep, it is.
Because last week, I think we talked about Lewis Hamilton was 3 points ahead of Max, and now Max is 3 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So, and then the Terry Bottas is 102 points behind. So it's not like NASCAR where it could be anybody. Right now, it's went down to 1 to 2. So
yeah, it's just down to those 2 guys.
So not hating on F1, but just saying. And then Max Verstappen, his cars are naturally in the 2020 Topps plethora of F1 with chrome base stickers, sapphire. And I think it's card number 6 is his Topps Chrome F1 card number 6. I think that's probably more desirable one. And in the trading card database, he has 434 cards.
Yeah, I think 400 and probably 430 of them were this year. Because he didn't have but just a handful of cars before this.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think Lewis Hamilton had a few before that, but yeah, for Max Verstappen. So, and I did see Topps put out some information or pre-sale for their hobby, and I think the big 3 have those right now. Just regular hobby box pre-selling for about $500 a box.
Yeah, so. As we say in cycling, out, I'm out.
So that wraps up our recap.
Let's talk about eBay. Talk about what has closed here recently. Some of the crazy things that we've seen. I won't say crazy, but I mean some of these prices are pretty impressive. So one of the things I saw, I was actually kind of perusing through it earlier today. There was a 1972 STP Richard Petty PSA graded 5. Had a buy it now of $8,000. Somebody went click and bought it. So that is, to me, that is absolutely amazing for a PSA 5 to go for $8,000. And remember here recently, Val, that PSA 9 had a buy it now of $15,000, and it's sold.
Yeah, if I remember right, the PSA 9 was the first one to test the waters earlier in the year. Some of the craziness were some of the prices were increasing for the other sports, and so that PSA 9 came out first. I think it set the bar. And then I think people either were looking for Richard Petty's, and we've talked about the 1972 SCP numerous times on the show, and actually and the POP report, the PSA population report for it as well, to kind of show how hard those cards are to grade, with the 9 being the highest, and there's only a 1. And every time we talk about that 9, I always say it should not be a 9, but because of that, I think it's a printing defect and that yellow halo next to his face, but I digress. So really, 9 is the highest. There's no 10. And then it drops off really quick. What is it, like a 7 is the next one? There's no 8s?
There's a 7 out there.
And then a few 5s and 3. So it's not like the 1988 Max Richard Petty where there could be hundreds or thousands. There's only a handful. I think we said, there's 18 maybe total graded, and some of those are autographed maybe. I know I got a few autographed.
There's 19 total graded, PSA graded cards of Richard Petty.
So you're talking about his first card, and probably one of the more desirable or iconic. So so $8,000 for a PSA 5.
Wow, that's amazing to me. It looks like there's been some more graded. I mean, here recently, I didn't realize there were so many PSA 6s. There are actually 5 PSA 6s out there.
All right, so that's new. So there's some new ones being graded.
Yeah, because I didn't realize because it used to be they went from 7 to 7, a PSA 7 to a PSA 5. So somebody's found some and got them graded. So we may be seeing those here soon before you know it.
Yeah, they must have hit the pop, so they must be being released soon.
So this also begs the question of the 1972 STP Fred Lorenzen and Bobby Allison cards. I mean, do you think that makes those about the same in the same grade? Think they're a little less, or maybe even more, because they seem to be more even rare than the Richard Petty.
So it's hard to tell with the Fred Lorenzen and Bobby Allison, because is it one or two things? One, is it are they scarce, or that the people who have them would rather get the Richard Petty's graded than the Bobby Allisons and Fred Lorenzens? My opinion is I think they are scarce.
Oh, there's only been 2 graded with Fred Lorenzen with the car. There's only been 2 graded with PSA. 2. That's it.
So that's the unicorn, though, right? So I think, well, we don't have to digress and all that stuff. So I think that's more of the unicorn. I was thinking the Fred Lorenzen portrait.
Yeah, there's 6 of those.
Yeah. And then Bobby Allison is tough. What's the pop on it?
3.
Yeah. But that's, an iconic set. And as I think people discover NASCAR, or they're getting aware of the 72 STP set, that they're trying to collect those graded. So
yeah, I mean, I've been collecting all these years, and I have yet to own the Fred Lorenzen with the car and the Bobby Allison. Those are the only 2 I need. So anybody out there got them and want to trade, hit me up.
I've seen the car one, and I have an Allison, but mine's got marker on it though. It's signed.
Yeah. It's got a good kind of marker on it.
Yeah. And then also on your list, so you have the 1972 SCP PSA 5, Richard Petty 8000, and then the next few are new stuff. Some of the ladies, Hailie Deegan and Natalie Decker, coming in here at National Treasures 101 Dual Auto. So who's the Dual Auto? Not to put you on the spot.
I think what they meant by this, these descriptions that I put on here are just cut and paste from what was on eBay. So I think what they mean by dual is it's an auto memorabilia.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. After I read it, So dual being an auto and race use. So, and that's $4,500 back in August.
Yeah, but it had a best offer accepted, so I'm sure it was under 4,500. It was a 1-on-1 card. But I mean, you used to be able to go out there and be able to scrape that information off the eBay website, but they've changed the way they do things now, and you can't find that information anymore. I even tried it today, and it's not the information is not available in the way we used to be able to get it.
The next 2 are Natalie Decker, Chronicles Contenders Optic Gold Vinyl 101, Select Gold Vinyl 101.
Yeah, it almost looks like the same person. I didn't look to see who the seller was, but it kind of looks like that may have been the same seller that had both of those.
If you get the right box or case where you get duplicates of stuff.
Well, yeah, we know we've been down that road. Yeah, but we haven't been that lucky.
Yeah. Then the iconic 1988 Max, number 99 Dale Earnhardt promo that we've talked about before. That was a SGC 9.5. And that was the best offer of basically $2,000 back at the end of July.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty strong for that card. I mean that's a 9.5 in SGC, so you can only imagine if it was in PSA, it'd probably be a lot more than that. So that's pretty strong for SGC.
Yeah, that 88 Max, number 99 Dale Earnhardt. That's one of those iconics there with the 72 STP.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Then there was also the next 2 are more Hailie Deegan cards. So the ladies were pretty much dominating the eBay sales. There was a 2020 National Treasures Hailie Deegan rookie patch auto out of 25. It had a $1,300 price tag on it. but somebody did a best offer. So again, we don't know what that was, but I would say it's probably north of $900 easy, if not more than that, for that card. So that's pretty strong. And then the other one was a 2019 Prime Clear Vision autograph 101, and it had $1,250 with the best offer accepted. So again, I'm sure that card was well over $900, probably $1,000 for that one. So that's some pretty strong stuff right there. I'm impressed.
Well, the one I was looking here is the 1983 Uno, number 27, Dale Earnhardt. That's his first card. That was a PSA 9. Best offer was $1,200, but I believe that sold for $900. I think I had contacted the seller and we were chatting about that.
Yeah, because you were trying to find out and get a gauge for what that was.
Yeah, I think that might have been the one where they were using some. I had, I've been posting about NASCAR trading cards for the last 10, 15 years. And so they were using some, I think, of some of the stuff I posted on some other sites for descriptions or whatever. So I was like, hey, was just kind of curious. And I'm always curious to see what stuff's selling for, because I definitely think, NASCAR trading cards are definitely undervalued compared to some of the other sports. And, when you talk about scarcity compared to the other sports, it's just, night and day between the two. So when we talk about Dale Earnhardt, these Unos, they're also another kind of those promos that you can't get them out of box or packs or whatever. So print run is very minuscule. So anyway, so that's a PSA 9 for about $900. I'm really curious to see who's going to have the first PSA 10 out there to see what that'll bring. So.
Yeah, you can bet it's probably going to be twice that price easily. And here's one of them that really got me. The listing, and this is what the listing said. It said 1989 Dale Earnhardt Max rookie cards. There were two of them. One example is unique misprint, and they were PSA 10 and 7. Well, technically, they were not 89 Max Dale Earnhardt rookie cards. They were the Briscoe card. And both of these cards together sold and had 18 bids and sold for $1,245. And what they said is they had a unique misprint. Well, what that unique misprint was PSA had a mechanical error and labeled the card wrong. It said Darrell Waltrip instead of Dale Earnhardt, and that was on the slab. So there wasn't technically not a misprint there. It was just PSA labeling it wrong. But this is something that I want people out there to know. This is a Briscoe card. Yeah, it's 1989. Yeah, it's kind of his rookie, but it's not his true rookie card. So, I mean, if you want to look at a true rookie card for being, coming out of a pack, that would be the regular 1989 Max release, not the Briscoe. So they didn't say Briscoe on there, which I think, in my opinion, is misleading. So people, that's where Val and I and Jason come in to try to make sure that people understand that the 1989 Dale Earnhardt Max regular card is the rookie, not the Briscoe card. The Max is the one that commands the higher price, not the Briscoe. Yeah, because they made a lot of Briscoe cards, and those things seem to grade pretty easy as a 10. So in my opinion, they just don't command the same price as the 1989 regular Max issue. So that's where you got to watch out there, everybody. Don't fall for that. But don't get me wrong, that $1,245 for a PSA 10 and a PSA 7, holy smokes, that's pretty strong for those two cards.
Yeah, I was going to say on that same day in June that a 1989 Max number 3 PSA 10 sold for just a penny less than $1,000. So that was a buy it now.
Yeah. Somebody did click right there and did a bin on it.
So I thought that Briscoe mislabel, I thought that was the one that had the wrong back, but you're saying the PSA label was what's wrong.
Yeah, it had Darrell Waltrip on the label. If you go back and look at it, it's got Darrell Waltrip on the PSA label. All you got to do is send in the PSA as a mechanical error, and they'll fix it.
Also jumping at me this in early September here, just a few days ago, the Jeff Gordon 1987 World of Outlaws card number 52, PSA 10 for $800.
Click, buy it now.
And then here's another one, 87 World Outlaws number 52, PSA 10. That was in late July, $787. So again, right there around that $800 range for a 87 World Outlaws Jeff Gordon rookie PSA 10.
Yeah, and that one had 23 bids too, man. So that's some strong bidding for that card. I'm impressed.
Yeah, and that was in July, yeah. 83 Uno, PGS 8.5, $715. That was buy it now, BGS.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, wow, somebody paid for a BGS 8.5, paid $715.50. That's kind of a weird number for a buy it now. But yeah, that's strong, man, because there's 10s out there in PSA. So what does that make those? 1,500, 2,000? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, again, the 83 Uno, right? So after 72 SCP, 83 Uno. So another early, tough to find vintage of the King.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that it was cool, but in a way to me it wasn't, was there back on the 27th of August, there was a 12 different 1986 Sports Star photographic cards that were sold. It had two bids and went for $1,009.99. I seriously thought about those cards and thought about buying those, but I'm not saying anything strange is going on here, but I went and on my computer screen, I went and compared every card to every card. Some of those cards were smaller, not as wide, not as tall as some other cards, because those cards looked really good. I mean, sharp corners, centering for the most part was good, but the Dale Earnhardt was just seemed to be a tad smaller than some of the other ones. So I just didn't want any part of that, because I'm going to get them graded if I buy something like that. And I don't want to spend that kind of money and then PSA kick them back and say, oh, they've been trimmed, or, they're altered or whatever, they're not the right size. So, I mean, if you're not going to get them graded, then that's probably fine. But for me, I just didn't want to touch them for that. I just felt like I could get in trouble with it, and I just didn't want to get in trouble. They, like I said, the sizes on some of the cars were just off just by a hair. So I just didn't do it.
Well, even if you got them, how long would it take you to get them graded and sent back? So,
oh God, well, I mean, how long have you had some cards in there? A year?
Sadly, yeah, a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's not PSA's fault.
No, and that's where I'm not going with. But I'm just saying, if you bought it, even if the guy had a return policy, there's no way, if it was 30 days or 60 days, that you can get it graded. Or even just authentic, to make sure that the sizing or whatever is legit or whatever.
In 30
you couldn't
days.
get it done. Yeah, you couldn't get it done in time. So there's, I guess, just too many questions to try to do it in a time frame. So
yeah, because he had a 30-day return policy, and
okay,
like I said, those cards. Again, I just took a piece of paper and did little hash marks and measured everything. And some of them just seemed a little bit smaller than other ones, or maybe others were bigger than other ones. I don't know, but the sizes were off just a little bit, and that's because what made me start doing that is they had them all lined up in a picture, and I noticed that one card next to another card seemed to be a little smaller, and I thought, well, maybe that's just the way it's looking on the screen. So that's when I got out my piece of paper and my hash marks and was doing my measurement on the screen. But sure enough, my eyes were not deceiving me. They were just a little bit different. And so I just didn't want to take that chance. That's a lot of money. And then it would cost a lot of money to get them graded. And then if they get kicked back, I would not be a happy camper, and I'd have no way to get my money back. And there's no way that I would try to resell those cards, knowing that they, knowing that they, were smaller size, and they just didn't fit minimum requirements. So I just didn't want to take that chance.
Well, that makes sense. We're not talking about $10 or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they're cool cards. That Dale Earnhardt was sharp. I love that card. I looked at that thing and went, oh my God, it looked like it could have been a 10. I mean, seriously. Just from I zoomed in on it, looked at it, and went, oh my God, that's a beautiful card.
Well, I guess we'll see in the next year if a 9 or 10 pops on that.
Yep.
Also on eBay, not a closed auction, but a currently running auction on eBay. It's a 2019 Panini Prime Racing die-cut cars of Dale Earnhardt Jr., but it's also dual signed by his daughter.
Yeah, that thing is cool. In fact, I didn't even know anything about this till Val showed it to me earlier tonight.
So it has some social media presence. Back in November 19th in 2019, Tracy, a friend of the show and amazing Panini America employee, he put out on, I guess it was Twitter or maybe it's the Knights blog, that the 16-month-old, how do you pronounce her name?
Isla
Rose Earnhardt signs her first autograph, sort of, in Panini America's new 2019 Prime Racing. And then also from the Panini blog, Panini America's highly anticipated 2019 Prime NASCAR Racing release nationwide tomorrow for our racing fans and collectors is a product that captivates with an unparalleled contact mix featuring race-used and race-worn material and some of the sweetest autographs, trading cards you'll see all year. But by far the sweetest autographs in the set were signed by someone who can't legally drive for another 15 years or so. In fact, they aren't autographs at all. They're scribbles from Isla Rose Earnhardt, the adorable 16-month-old daughter of Dale Jr. and Amy. Turned out little Elsa was riding shotgun in Daddy's lap during his prime signing session and couldn't resist getting in on the action. She grabbed a pen, she grabbed a few cards, and she added her own indelible ink. The result, priceless. So it's got a little bit of mentions on Panini's blog, and I think is on Twitter as well. So and there's some photos. So that's running on eBay right now. It still has multiple days left.
Yep.
When does that end? So it ends next Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, next Tuesday, and it's currently at $910 already. It's already at 25 bids, just like that. That card's going to go for a lot of money. I would love to have that card, and what's amazing is it took 2 years for it to pop.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's either the Nuts or one of the other sites. There are a few collectors that every time there was a prime break, they were buying those spots, trying to get that card. And once it, they were relieved that it finally was found. That way, they didn't have to buy until this break. So, that's that Willy Wonka golden ticket there. So very cool.
And you notice they put the little sticker over the Dale Earnhardt Jr. autograph, saying it's authentic. It's too bad they didn't put one over hers. That would have been funny.
Yeah, she signed front and back. So,
yeah, she got the little scribbles. It's a cool card, man. I'd love to own that card. Any predictions on how much you think it's going to go for?
For some reason, I'm thinking 1,200.
I'm thinking it's probably more than that. I'm thinking it'll push over 15.
Okay.
1,500 easily, I think. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on this. In fact, I'm going to go click add to watch list right now so I can watch this thing and see what it does, because that's a really cool card. I love that card.
I thought you were going to put a bid in at 920.
I could. I'm going to get a bid.
So I saw that and thought that was, I saw when that car got pulled a few months ago, and then I saw today where it's listed now. So that's really cool. It reminds me of, and it didn't get as much press as this one, but where Carl Edwards had signed for the National Treasures, and it kind of he smeared it, and so he had like gone over it, but he kind of, I think, apologized. He wrote a note, sorry, it smeared
Yeah,
on it.
that,
So
that was a cool card.
that's another cool one.
And then there's the one with Danica and Junior where she forgot to sign one, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. wrote on there that she forgot to sign it.
Yeah, and maybe that's the one I saw that was pulled recently. But yeah, those, some of those are out of the norm, but they're very unique. And we can move on to the next segment. Anything else on eBay?
Those were the highlights of what was sold. I mean, there was a few other things, but nothing really. Oh, I do want to mention one more card. There was actually a HGA graded Dale Earnhardt 1988 Max card, graded an 8.5 by HGA. It had a $900 starting bid, had one bid, and somebody bought it. It looked pretty cool in that holder, but I don't buy the holders, I buy the cards. So, but that was the first HGA one I had seen, and somebody pulled the trigger on it for $900.
I think that's a good price for that grade.
I think so. I think so too.
Yeah, I think they were generous on that.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all I got for now.
Well, then we can transition to final segment. We talk about the 1991 IROC series set from Dodge. And this was all the rage back in 1991. This was a 12-card cellophane set. It's a little bit larger than a normal trading card.
Yeah, it's 3 15/16 by 2 3/4 inches. So it's a little bit bigger than a normal card.
It's got a black and white front, or black and white picture, and the border is a checkerboard. The back is color, and it says 1991 Dodge IROC, and it's got a picture of, I guess it's like the 10, 12 cars coming down the track in a tight formation.
Yeah, and for anybody that doesn't know what IROC is, it's the International Race of Champions, and it's where they brought in champions and championship drivers and other drivers from other, all different forms of racing. In fact, in this set, there's 12 cards. 5 of them are Winston Cup drivers. There were 3 IndyCar drivers, 3 IMSA drivers, and there was also a driver from the World Sporting Car Championship. So there was a pretty mixed bag of drivers there competing for the championship that year.
It's got a pretty good list of drivers in there.
Yeah, and of course the big one is
Rusty Wallace.
Actually, he won the championship that year, but no.
Yeah, so we have Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Al Unser Sr., Mark Martin, Dorsey Schroeder, Al Unser Jr., Jeff Brabham, Bob Wollick, Jeff Bodine, Scott Pruitt, Tom Kendall,
yeah.
Tom Kendall, and Bill Elliott. When I was looking up some of the pricing in the Collector's World November 1991 issue, that was volume 1, number 7, they quote $700 for these cards.
Yeah, and that's how much they were back then. I actually had a couple of sets back in the day that I had bought from one of the local hobby stores, and I think I got them for like $100 a piece, which at that time was a steal, and it was also a lot of money. But I kept one of those sets, and I actually traded one of those cards for the 1992 Trax Dale Earnhardt Richard Petty Dual Auto card, which turned out now to have been a great deal.
Yeah, I think these sets are going for about $50 now, sealed.
Yep.
These were not sold in stores. They weren't part of any, packs or boxes or anything. These were made as a free promotional deal for Dodge. The one article from Racing Collectibles Price Guide from the June 1991, page 15, they mention that Dodge created less than 5,000 sets, and they assumed the market could easily consume 50,000 sets. So that was the kind of demand they were seeing. So that's what explained why sets were going for 700.
Yeah, I think they were given away in the dealerships along with some brochures and things for the Dodge Daytona, which is the car that they were running in IROC that year.
Yeah, it seems like a great tie-in for them in that promo. So it said that they understand that each Dodge deal received one set of cards, and that they, at the time in June, said that pricing right now is frankly impossible.
Yeah, because there was a lot of hysteria around those cards. I mean, everybody was, clamoring for those cards. I mean, I was. I mean, and I think back on it now, that's been 30 years. That's hard to believe. That's been 30 years ago.
Wow.
But those were some tough cards to find. I mean, like Val said, you can get them now for $50 a set, easy.
And there's some sets on the PSA registry as well.
Yeah, I was looking at that. These cards came wrapped in a cello pack, kind of like the 88 and 89 Max. So again, when those things are shrink wrapped, you know what it does? It kind of takes the corners and pushes them down a little bit. So that in itself makes it hard for those things to get graded well. Looking at the PSA Pop report, there's been 94 cards graded, and out of those 94, there's only 11 10s, and the majority of them are 8s and 9s with 27 9s and looks like 36 8s. So it's like 8s are probably the most common grade for those things. So needless to say, those things grade tough. And not only that, those cards in the cello pack, when you get one of those cello packs, the Dale Earnhardt card is the one that's on top or bottom, however you want to look at it, is one of the cards that's on the, that faces you. So of course that card is really, with that card being up on top, it's going to be even worse because not only the corners could have issues, but it could get surface issues from getting dinged around and all kinds of other stuff. So, that makes it tough. There's no PSA 10s of that. There's I think one 9, and that's the highest grade. There's 3 8s. There's only been 14 graded.
Yeah, I think I had sent 2 sets in. I think one of mine is a 5 and the other one maybe is an 8. And then also the bottom card opposite of Earnhardt on the whole other side is Al Unser Sr. So I don't know what the pop report for him is, but
yeah, there's actually a 10 of that one right now out there.
Interesting.
Believe it or not. And it was six graded, no 9s, and there's 3 8.
Okay. Because I had a set that I opened today because I knew we were going to talk about it. So one other thing you were talking about, like the one that I opened today, actually some of the cellophane, when it's shrink wrapped, was missing around that corner. So that corner was totally exposed. So the Dale Earnhardt corner had been exposed for whatever amount of time. So it was super easy to get dinged without even the protection of the cellophane. Because that cellophane is not even a good type. I would have taken a cello pack or whatever it is, kind of, to your point, it's just like the 88 Max cello, where it's that hard shrink wrap, maybe with heat or whatever it is. And I don't know any good way to open those packs.
No, I've tried X-Acto knives and things, and just trying to just barely, nick up one little piece of it and maybe try to get it to pull, because it's, like I said, there's no good way to open those things if you're trying to keep the condition decent.
Yeah, so it's a great little set, very affordable now, and you can own it for a fraction of what it was going for in the heyday. So again, the key is probably the Dale Earnhardt. You have Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, and then Rusty Wallace, Al Unser Sr. and Al Unser Jr.
Yeah, it's a great set. I love that set. The card fronts, I don't know if we had mentioned it or not, but they're black and white with the color. The back is a color shot of the Dodge Daytona IROC cars.
And there's a little blurb too about the driver too. So Like the Dale Earnhardt, the 1990 IROC champ Earnhardt won his 4th Winston Cup National Championship last year. His 1990 victories gave him a grand total of 48 since entering the series in 1975. The 39-year-old North Carolina native will be competing in his 6th IROC series. So that's what his says.
Yeah, it's a cool card. I mean, if you're an Earnhardt collector, that's one of the cards that's a must-have card for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's one of the ones that kind of drew me in. I knew about the set, and when you look at the old price guides and stuff and see what it was selling for, and I like to pick some of those up. So again, it's one of the ones that I have on the PSA registry.
Yeah, and it's not going to cost you a lot if you want to get it graded. It's not going to cost you a lot to get it graded because there's only 12 cards. So it's actually a really nice set if you want to get into to create a set on the PSA set registry. It's a great little set to start out with.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons, I guess that drew me to PSA and, grading is that these NASCAR sets are small. The 86 4-star photographics and, this set, the 83 Uno, 72 SCP, or even some of the smaller inserts, autograph sets, whatever, that they're not, hundreds of cards. So the grading fees, when you add them up, aren't too bad. So,
yep, agreed. So, yeah, go out and pick you up a 1991 IROC set. Enjoy.
Definitely. I don't know anything else we need to cover tonight.
I really don't think so. We talked about the races. We talked about Kyle Busch. We talked about eBay. We talked about the IROC set. I think we've covered about all of it.
Well, that's maybe a good stopping point then. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. If you like, share the podcast, share NASCAR trading cards with your friends. And for me, Logan and Jason, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Good night, everybody.